Yes. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. Yes, it's all about the money. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. Joining me live right here in the studios is one and only my sister-in-law, business partner, the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group, Lynda V. Harris. How you doing, Lynda?
I'm doing well. You seem to be in a great mood this morning. You rushed in and barked out orders, got your pen ready, jumped on the computer, bobbing your head. You're good.
I love that song. Life is good, you know. Every time I learn something, I feel empowered, like Popeye's spinach, you know. Every time I'm like, da-da-da-da, I'm ready for the world.
Muscles pop out.
Oh, man, I tell you. Mental, not physical muscles pop out. Mental muscles, yeah.
Every time Skin all clear. What you went to the spa or something?
No, just some Vaseline. Vaseline at night will do it every time.
Every time?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Keep that black going. We got a great show lineup for today.
Yes, we do.
You know, a couple weeks ago, we had attorney Marva Wiley, and we were talking about wills and trust estate planning. We're going to continue that. We have Marva Wiley, the attorney who specializes in estate planning, wills and trusts, in the studio. How you doing, Marva?
All right.
Good. And those of y'all who missed it, last couple weeks ago, we started talking about wills, but we're going to recap, and then we're going to go more into what's trust, the pros and cons of living trust, what could go wrong with it, why it's so advantageous for you to have it and understand it. But we're not going to do that until the 8:15 hour. Right now, we're going to recap current events, what took place over last week with the stock market, and it was complete pandemonium with that hurricane.
Yes, it was.
And not only, it really was bad, it really is still bad in the Bahamas, and we're going to have our donations going on to help the people, our brothers and sisters there. But pre-retirement, boy, it was pandemonium here.
It was. I
in
got
Miami.
in the gas line and
Wednesday.
I just didn't even go to the grocery store. I was like, whatever. I don't eat that much anyway.
People was just gouging, man. I'm talking about 16 and 17-year-olds. You had grown 50-year-old, 40. They just trying to get all the water.
But if you listen to the news, they had us scared. Like, we thought we had to prepare.
Yeah, but how much water? One man, like, he wanted to take the whole shelf of water.
Really?
Yeah. Come on. Can somebody else have to? That's what I mean by that. You know?
I got you.
We still have to share.
Right.
And that's what's going on right now with income inequality, with the CEOs making, billions of dollars, and people don't even make $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. And someone who's making, $100 million a year or $500 million a year, the strange thing about it is this gas costs the same.
Yes, it does.
This restaurant's the same as yours, and you make $10 an hour.
So
that's the cost of living,
Mm-hmm.
So that's pandemonium also that's going on. But people are still trying to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know why, but we're certified financial planners, and we deal with people's money, their assets. Yeah. We try to help you to get your financial house in order, try to help you to prepare for not only now, but also for the future. And a lot of people want to retire, but they don't know if they can retire.
Right.
And the reason why you don't know if you can retire, because that's like in a car, it's like having a car and your gas meter is broke. And you don't really know when you're going to run out of gas.
Yeah, that's no way to travel.
No, just guessing.
Just keep riding and just figure it out en route. That's no way to travel.
Hey, Lynda, that reminds me when I was a young kid. I used to always just buy $200 and $300 cars, from somebody old lady that died.
$200 and $300?
Yeah, that's the most I would pay for a car. $200 car. Somebody died, and and the car just sitting up there, and I would go to the lady and say, "Listen, give you $300 for that car." Mm-hmm. And she would give me the car, Chevrolet or whatever it was.
Right.
And I would drive that car until the wheels fall off.
Then go get another $300 car.
That's right. And I did that for a long time. In fact, back when I was coming up, they didn't even have self-service, and I used to go to Tom Texaco in Opelika to get them to come out there and pump the gas. Mm-hmm. They say, you putting $1 in again? We're not coming out there for $1 to pump your gas. Pump your own gas. I was doing self-service before self-service even became a thing. I had to pump my own dollar.
Goodness.
I was so cheap, boy, I tell you. And the reason why I didn't want to put full of gas tank, full of car up, because it was old. Can you imagine me putting $20 in an old Comet Vega and it break down? That's $20 broke down.
Oh, and you can't pump it out of the
No,
cost.
I didn't know how to do that. Some people.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. So what we do is we try to help you, because it's a maze in terms of what's going on with this whole financial maze of different industries, entities are vying for your money, telling you, hey, you can do this and we'll do that. If it ain't Fidelity, it's Vanguard, or it's the bank, or someone's trying to tell you they can help you, And oftentimes they're helping themselves.
Right.
Because most of them don't even know how to put together a sound total financial plan for you. Most people, Lynda, are just engulfed with making more money.
Most of the clients?
Yes. They'll tell you how someone's saying, I can show you how to make more money.
But financial planners are engulfed with that. That's what she was saying. She said, are the clients trying to make more money, or is the consultant trying to make more money for themselves?
That too.
And not giving good advice.
That too. But most of them don't have good advice, because you get someone just coming out of college or just hiring someone at a bank. Come on, they don't really know about financial planning.
Right.
They're order takers.
Right.
And they'll tell you, hey, you want this and you want that, and they're trying to get their numbers up, their sales quotas up. But in terms of understanding the big picture, they don't know. Look at the people that sell Prime America, a school teacher, a bus driver. And I'm not trying to knock Prime America or World Financial.
Right.
If I step on your toes, I'm sorry. Dondale, you're not here to pick you up.
Okay.
But I got to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes,
sir. You know that you a school teacher, and how all of a sudden you're going to moonlight. In other words, you're going to supplement your income selling somebody some life insurance, Prime or some mutual funds, and you don't even have one.
Right.
Because you're trying to get the commission.
Right.
No. That's not, I'm okay with having a side hustle, but don't mess with people's money.
Yeah. Because you messing with lives now.
Right.
You're messing with lives and futures. That's where that show American Greed comes in. Anytime somebody tell you I can make you money, I can double your money and make it seem it's urgent and you got to get in now, run. Just run. Greed really does wipe a lot of people out.
Yeah.
It really does. Nothing replaces patience and planning.
But and when you said patience and planning, Lynda, I'm still taken aback about how many adults, grown people. I mean, and I'm just going to say 40-year-olds, because I give you a pass. Remember when we talked about, I think that life should really start at age 40?
Yes, I remember that.
Remember that? I really do. If I was God, I would say, listen, all y'all so silly down there. I'm trying to tell y'all how valuable you all. I've equipped you. I put the energy and gave you. I've wired you in a way that you can create, discover, and be all you could be, but y'all still haven't figured it out. So I'm going to give y'all at least 40 years, okay? So 40 years, you could be 16, 17, 21. You should have been and went to jail, got out.
Oh, my goodness.
You should have stole a car. You should have been done all the crime stuff and figured, that ain't the way to go, You should have married the wrong man or the wrong woman, Had too many kids, But that's okay. But in 40, it's like you waking up.
Okay.
You waking up and the slate is clean. There's no past. Your credit real bad by you 39 years old. Don't worry about it. At age 40, all that's going.
I mean, you had a lot of kids. The kids gonna disappear at 40.
Yeah, well, hey.
There's problems with the plan. It ain't crystallized.
No, it's like bloop. Haven't figured that part out with the kids yet. Okay? But all of your sins, all those mistakes that you've made, everybody, life starts at 40. It's that no one can fault you. They can't go back and say, remember you did this. It's just like a wipeout. And as far as the kids, like no memory of them. Not even the kids. Matter of fact, the kids would not even been born.
Okay, that makes it better.
You learned all those life lessons.
Yeah, other folk.
Right. Yeah, the kids when it's like you waking up from a dream. Now you see that? Okay, so now you're 40 years old, but subconsciously don't get on crack. Because it was good, but you know what happened last time in your last life.
So basically you're wise. The wisdom sets in at 40.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going somewhere. So now you're 40 years old. You should know what not to do now. You've seen the movie. The bad guys always flashing the pan, making all the money, just making it rain, but he always wind up broke, right?
Right.
We know that. We know the little church girl that go get the pretty boy with the curly hair and blue eyes or green eyes. You know that he ain't no good. You know that he wind up and he have 3 other girls and you hurt, right?
Yes.
So you know now, you 40 years old, you ain't gonna go down that road no more. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna get Juicy Lucy this time because subconsciously you know that you've been fooled. So you're gonna get you a nice young lady or a nice young man, right? And now you're 40 years old. the world will be a whole lot better because, first of all, Lynda, most people don't grow up. They don't learn nothing until after, I would say 50.
Okay.
Now, I'm not talking about academically.
I got you.
I'm talking about in terms of strong wisdom. Because we can all look back and say, man, if we can do it all over, boy, we'd have took a different route, right? Mm-hmm. That's really what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But what amazes me right now, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, continually, even right now, after we went through all of the scratching the numbers, going to the horse track, dog track, trying to get rich quick, trying to come up with selling tea or whatever, selling gold tea or Tupperware, whatever we did. And it just didn't work. I'm amazed at how many people retire and want to go into business that they know nothing of. Let me say it again. I am totally shocked. Grown people, you've been working on the job. Now you want to retire, take your savings, and open up a restaurant. Now, first of all, just because you could cook good. Now, let me tell you something. When you open up a business, that's why they call it show business. I want y'all to write this down now. Everything is about show business. We all in show business. You know that, right?
Right.
We're all in show business. When you go to church, that's show business. That's show business, that's show business. When they pass that cup around and that little tray around, that's the business part. The show is when they singing and Miss Sally jumping up and down and shouting. That's the show part. The business part, what most people don't like is what? The collection. Right?
Right.
College, education, showtime. My son, daughter going to Howard. You know, mine going to Harvard, mine going to MBT. That's a showtime. You know what the business part is, right?
Paying that tuition.
Paying that money. How you going to get some money? How you going to get a scholarship or a loan or them student loans that's 1.something trillion, right?
Right.
That's the show part, but the business part. In business, people say, listen, I want to open up a restaurant. That's the show part. You can cook good. That's the show part. The business part is taking care of the economics. You got to deal with the regulators, the food regulators. You got to deal with the profit margin. You got to deal with inventory. You got to deal with them people that don't really want to be there. Only reason why they there is because they want to get a paycheck, but they going to steal you blind. And don't even talk about a restaurant with a liquor license. You think they don't get their friends and girlfriends extra liquor? You got to be and don't even think that you can start a business and have somebody else run it for. Who do you think gonna make you rich while you sit home? They gonna be envious and jealous of you. That's who that sucker think he is. I'm working, he's sitting home. I'm gonna get me some extra. Then gonna pay me $10 an hour. I'm gonna steal $50 every day. So what I'm basically saying, if you're listening to me, and you want to go into business, whatever you want to go, whatever business you want to go to, a tire shop, real estate, whatever you want to do, first, could it be so bad before you put your hard-earned retirement money into that business? Is it so bad for you to get some experience, go work in the business? Is it just so bad? Because let me tell you why. I've never, ever, ever come across a business venture or embarked on anything that the first time we've done it, it was perfect. You couldn't even, first time you kissed a boy or girl, you didn't do it right. First time you got on a bicycle, you ain't do it right. So why do you think you can take your life savings and go into a franchise?
Right.
Or go into business without any experience, without any internship, and start a business? You're going to fail. And if you got $300,000 and you want to start this sandwich shop, you got to go through the pain first, man.
Yeah.
Am I wrong or right?
No, you're 100% right.
Is that across the board on every business?
100%.
Every business. I don't care if you want to start a lawn service.
Yeah. Even if you go and train with somebody for free, it's not free because you're gaining valuable information.
At least you ain't spending your money.
You're not spending your money.
But people want to experiment and try something new on their last dime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they retired.
Something about saying I'm a business owner, I own it, I'm the boss. But I'm telling you, it's not. Sometimes you don't want to be the boss.
No.
You're going to have those boss bills and
Man.
regulations. So yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right.
I own a company. I gotta pay for the light bill, the phone bill. I gotta pay for every expense, the paper, the copy machine,
the coffee.
The coffee. Y'all come in the coffee. I gotta pay for every. Y'all understand? And then you gotta pay for the county and state regulatory fees and quarterly. And here come no fire extinguisher man.
I see him one more time.
One more time. Okay, we gotta take a station break.
All right.
Hey, listen. That's the first part of it. Then we'll come back. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back with pandemonium. We're gonna say that's our vocabulary word today because a whole lot is taking place and has taken place. The word is pandemonium. When we come back, we're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna finish our second half of Attorney Marva Wiley. She's in the studio. So get your pencil, your pad ready. We're gonna learn something today. And we're gonna break it down to you like with 6-year-olds. You're listening to Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. My co-host, sister-in-law, business partner, Lynda V. Harris. She's a financial planner, registered representative, and the vice president of Henderson Financial Group. Did I say that? We'll be right back. Don't keep it low. Yes. We're back. We're back live. Robert Henderson Jr. We're on 880 The Biz.
Yes.
And we're streaming also in social media. You can go to Facebook and you can recap this because Isaac is here filming and he's going to upload this probably later today or tomorrow. He's going to go to Facebook. You can look at Robert Henderson Jr. Understanding Money. And you can recap the show last week or following week. And also you can also go to our website at www.thehendersonfinancialgroup, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com, and we got a fantastic website, and you can listen to our past radio shows also. The word of the day is pandemonium, and when I think about that, I think about this Popeye's chicken craze, waiting in line, people pulling guns.
Oh my goodness.
For some chicken. I mean, aren't you gonna just chew it up and go to the bathroom? I mean, next. I mean, waiting an hour for some chicken.
That's unbelievable. That's great marketing.
Wow, pandemonium. What does it mean? Wow, uproar, chaos. Mm-hmm. And recently, there's been a whole lot of pandemonium. Let's spell that for some people who can't spell that. We're spelling that: P as in Paul, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, D as in David, E as in Easter, M as in Mother, O as in Ocean, N as in Nancy, I as in Indian, U as in Uncle, M as in Mary. Pandemonium. Have you ever been in had a state of pandemonium? Have you been in a situation where it's been like all chaos, Lynda?
I can't say
fire, been in a club or something else? No?
I missed that.
You missed that?
I think I missed out on something with
I've
I've been to a lot of concerts. No gunshots fired off. No, I ain't about that life. I don't go nowhere like that.
You really did have a shelter life.
Yeah, I really did. I ain't never been to a house party. A fight broke out.
You sure didn't. I
think I missed that.
Miss Ville wasn't having that. Man, I tell you, I guess that's because you had mom and daddy, 2-parent family.
Yeah, we did.
Went to that little church every day, every week.
In the station wagon.
Drove that station wagon with 7 children in it.
Yeah, that was my
7
life.
children. You still had mother and daddy up front.
Total of 9.
They didn't make 7 passengers, did you?
You had the Woody station wagon.
Was it 7 passengers? Your mom and daddy up front? It was a passenger. A station wagon with 7 kids?
Yes, because you sat way in the back in the Woody wagon.
Now y'all was they weren't making no 7.
Yes, they were.
No seatbelt. See, you trying to make it fit. You just
I got
back
it.
there.
It was in the back.
Leave it up to legal eagle, your mama. No seatbelts.
Exactly.
Oh, that's why it fell. Because okay.
Yeah,
So
see, you
y'all sitting on top of each other.
Conventional.
You know, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, man, it squeaked out a positive because it's been very volatile, like I said. But it's up over 26,000 again. It's 26,797. I think number 45, Trump, man, I think he's going to do all what he can do not to let this economy go into a recession, because you don't want to have a 2020 election and the economy is in the dum-dums. Mm-hmm. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want that. So whatever the powers to be, it could be a good 2020.
Yeah, at least leading up to the election.
Yeah, after that January come down.
All bets are off.
All bets off, man. Shoot, it's gonna be a dump.
So when is it? November is the election?
Yeah,
November 2020?
You should know that. Aren't you? You're supposed to be part of the election voting committee. It's 2020 November.
Yeah, it's the second Tuesday of November.
Yeah, we got 15 million people that's not even registered to vote yet.
Well, we got time. We're going to get them all registered.
No, man. You talking about we got time, man. You got to use that time, girl.
Yes, we do.
Right. Dow Jones Industrial Average eked out a positive up 69 points yesterday. The S&P 500 is back up over 2,900. It's at 2978. And all the big stocks, Apple, Google, and Facebook, and Amazon, they're hanging in there also. But I still think we're gonna have some volatility because of this whole tariff and this China trade on and off.
Yeah.
A lot of egos that's involved. And that's why I say when you have your life savings inside of the stock market, I don't care if you have mutual funds or ETF, don't let them people fool you. You shouldn't have all the pile of your money in something that's so volatile and it could drop on a dime just on a tweet. You got to be out of your mind. And if you don't know what to do, I want you to take this number down and come see us, and we can tell you we can put your money in somewhere safe where you won't lose a dime. And our home office telephone number is area code 305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. The number here in the hotline, in case you want to call in, got a question or comment for our attorney in our show today, Marva Wiley, Marva L. Wiley, Esquire. Her office is in Miami Shores. Oftentimes she'll come to my office. She's so gracious and meet with my clients on the first landing. And then after that, they can meet in her Miami Shores office. Very talented. I like her style. I like how she talks to the clients down to earth, looks like a cousin or a relative. And doesn't talk over your head, and she breaks it down to you like a 6-year-old. So that's why I work with Marva. And Marva is an attorney, but she doesn't do murder. She don't try murder cases. And she don't have a catering company on the side. She don't
sell Prime America.
She don't sell Prime America or World Financial. She's not in the network marketing. I don't pay her no fees. She don't pay me no kickback fees for referral. Everything is clean. She don't bake cakes on the side and but then can do your will and trust. All she do is estate planning. That's the kind of people I like. If I'm gonna deal with you, I need you to be about your business. It's like when people come deal with me, they don't want to see Robert Henderson on the dance floor.
It is funny though.
Yeah. That's only a client appreciation. That's the only time on the dance floor clients can see me.
You guys got to see that. Okay.
Once a year client appreciation. But they don't want to see their financial advisor at the club and drinking next to them. Nobody wants to. They want to see me in that office, being a nerd and studying all the tax laws and the financial rules and strategy. That's what they want to see. And that's what I do. That's my job, And that's what you also do. So anytime you got an attorney that tries murder cases, and he also do divorces, and he also got a catering company and a car wash, and by the way, he can do your will and trust, you got the wrong attorney. That's why I like Marva. Marva, how you doing today?
Doing well. How about you?
Real good. Can't you tell? Lynda, you're awful. Okay, so let's recap. So 2 weeks ago, Marva was in the office. First of all, first thing first, because I know time's going to run by. It's already half past the hour. Let's give out your contact information. So, Marva's telephone number is area code 786. Take this down. I see somebody pen or pencil in right. I'm gonna repeat it 3 times. Now I'm gonna give you something. You got a head start. Go try to find that pencil and that pen. Her telephone number is 786-536-4612. Repeat that again. 786-536-4612. Now you ought to have that pencil and pad by now. If you don't have that, just use your phone and type 786-536-4612. That's attorney Marva L. Wiley. She'll break it down to you like a 6-year-old. But before you go to her, please, and the ideal that we have with Marva, she don't want to sit in there. If she's gonna really give you a great price, and that's why I deal with her also, because she's not trying to charge you $5,000 and $6,000, like a whole lot of people. $4,000, $3,000. She's not trying to, especially if it's a simple will or simple trust. She's not charging you a whole lot. She's just gonna keep it real because that's how she stays in business, just like we do, and we get repeat customers. So before you go to her, I don't want you to sit there and go to her and then says, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and take up all her time. oftentimes what we do is I meet with the client first, and I organize. If you're going to have a will, if you're going to have a trust, and we'll sit in my office and we'll have a preliminary plan. And by the time we get to Marva, we're ready. And then Marva will come in and put the icing on the cake, so to speak, and then give you some pointers, explain it to you better, and go through the whole process with it. But she don't want to sit up there while you're trying to figure out what the name of your trust or who you're going to leave your stuff to, taking up all her time. She don't want, no. So basically, when you come to me, we do the preliminary, and then tell you what probably should be in the trust, what shouldn't, because I've worked with her for some years now. And then by the time you get from her, she's ready to, like I say, put the icing on the cake. And it's good. All right? So let's recap. So last 2 weeks ago, we talked about wills and trusts. So, wills. So, Marva, what's so good about a will, and what could go wrong with a will?
There are two major issues that come up with a will. For the first thing that I like to establish for people is that there are two alternatives. There is testate and intestate. Testate means with a will. You don't have to be concerned about all of your stuff going to the state if you don't have a will. So we want to make that clear. But all of the other special circumstances about your life don't get considered unless you have a will. You may have a child who helps you out a lot, help contribute to your household. So you want to reward that child a little more than the others. You don't want everything to be equal as it would be if you don't have a will. The only way to make sure that happens is to have a will, so that the court, a judge, knows specifically what you wanted and can have a personal representative, is what we call it in Florida, which you may hear on TV as an executor, to implement what you wanted in the will. So that's the best thing, because everybody's situation, even though you are brother and sister-in-law, you're clearly, based on what Robert was saying early, your life experiences weren't the same.
Right.
No.
You have 5 children? Do you have any children?
I don't.
Those make differences.
Gotcha.
So the will is an opportunity for you to plan based on your own experience, based on your own desires and priorities, what happens to your stuff after you have passed away.
I'm so glad you said that. And you said something about equal. That's amazing. And just what you just said, that, Lynda and I, we've been knowing each other since I was 10 years old. I'm 61 this month,
Happy birthday.
And we've had very different upbringings. And I know that, and she knows that, and we all know that. But it never ceased to amaze me that adults, when they get ready to do, let's just say, a will and dispose of their property, now I know that they love their children, because they equally for the most part. But you got to know that each child is not the same.
I say that all the time when I do clinics.
Yeah.
You know your children. And I've had several experiences over the years where you see chaos in the family when mom and or dad are alive. So when they're gone, I'm like, you've got to count on the fact it's going to get much worse when you're gone.
Right.
You got to count on the fact that those little resentments were born when you were 10 years old or 5 years old. Somebody's thinking, he paid. If mama and daddy didn't go to his football games like that, he wouldn't have been that, and he didn't do that for me, or she didn't do that for me.
Baggage.
And that's what costs you more money. You might have seen me cringe a bit when you started talking about numbers, because a lot of times people don't realize that the mess is what costs money.
Mess.
Laying it out, knowing what you want, being clear. Generally, like you say, a simple thing, we can knock it out, we can put it to bed, done. But the more questions there are, I have a case right now, Thursday, what can go wrong with a will? This is what that's related to. And I do a little bit more than estate planning. Probate isn't formally estate planning, but probate is, in large part, dealing with those things we did in estate planning. So Thursday, I was in court. The decedent had a will. I didn't do the will. She had been married for over 20 years.
Okay.
Her will doesn't include her husband.
Ooh.
She tried to disinherit her husband in the will.
Ooh.
She has one child. And the child's thinking, okay, all mine. We're good.
Right.
She's got a lot of resentment for
The husband?
the husband because she thinks he was a sorry, no good, da da
Right.
da da da.
The average thought for a woman, yeah.
I don't know, but anyway.
And Lynda, you quiet, Lynda?
I'm quiet.
And I don't know what and we can't use the word specialty for the Florida bar, but I don't know what the experience of the attorneys who drafted the will was.
Right.
But I don't know what information the attorney had. But part of the process is asking the questions, understanding what the impact can be.
Gotcha.
So while the daughter is thinking, all right, put to bed, my mother did this deed before she died, which was her investment property over here. I got this will that says I'm personal representative and everything she's got comes to me.
He don't get
Back
nothing.
in this year we did da da da, so that's mine too. All right, I'll entertain you for a while, but I'm holding all the cards here.
That's what she thought.
Sound like it
That's
to me.
what she thought.
And she had counsel, so someone had drawn up that will and led her to believe that she had all the power.
Or drawn up the will to let the mother believe that was doing. But here's the thing: if you are with an attorney who's just listening to you and writing it down, it may be a valid will for legal purposes, but it may not do what you want it to do because there are other laws that affect things. So part of what happens, sometimes you do the preliminary work for me. We've had these conversations before. Are you married? That's the key question. It makes a difference because the spouse can elect to take what's called an elective share. Unless you've got a prenuptial or postnuptial or some other mechanism for establishing that this spouse has consented to this will going down like that, you can be exposed, the estate can be exposed for a lot of other things. Here's something that came up after.
Hold on. Let me stop
Okay.
right there. I gotta get a visual on this.
Okay.
What you just said. You said a mouthful. I gotta get a visual.
Not a
I
problem.
can feel some people in the radio land saying, okay, run that back. Okay, run that back. Situation. Let's walk this through. Here you got a husband and wife. The husband know that dude is a no good sucker, right? He got his whole family out there. He's a little cheating something. So she ain't worried because she said what she gonna do is leave everything to her daughter. Now they not divorced, so she goes and get this will drawn up to an attorney and cuts him out of everything. And she feel like, man, when I'm gone, he ain't getting diddly, and he gonna find out. Now, one of the mistakes is what you're saying, that if she was gonna do that, if it was properly done, she should have had him acknowledge that he is not getting something.
That's correct. That's a way to do it.
Okay, that's the first mistake.
Right.
Right. Because just by saying, hey, I ain't telling him nothing, he going to be surprised, surprised, surprised. I'm going to be in heaven. That is the first mistake. You got to give this guy some sort of notice, or her some kind of...
More so than giving him notice, he has to acknowledge and accept.
In a signature?
A written thing proves yes. So written something is the best way to go. But if so, and the other aspect of that too is, suppose husband and wife, let's take it out of the situation I was telling you about where the daughter can't stand the surviving spouse.
Right.
I tell her that her eyes drip
Her daddy,
animus.
Is that her father?
No, it's not her fault.
Okay, so it's the mom's second
That's
marriage.
even worse,
Okay.
a stepdad. Yeah,
Right,
that often happens.
right, that happens.
But what if they were happily married? I had another situation where somebody called me this week, and the deceased husband and the new wife, the children all accept her as their mother, and that's wonderful life. And then husband dies, and they want to provide for her, want her to have good access. Now she got another kid, so they don't necessarily want the kid to step into her shoes and get 50% when all of them are splitting 50%. So they try to do some things to working with the mother to try to make things a little more equal.
They were doing that with a will?
They would try to do a trust, but that kind of, I don't want to get ahead because that creates another set of issues.
That's the second
But
half
my
we're
point
talking
in that is, suppose this woman is more infirm at the time. If she has not acknowledged, let's say that the wonderful family, the patriarch of the family did a will,
Okay.
And they wanted to provide for the mother. Mother was good with everything going down. If it's not in writing, everybody trusted each other. Suppose she's now incapacitated, and now her son, who stands to get everything, if he just elects on her behalf this elective share,
Ooh.
there's nothing you can do about it. Everybody was good before when you drafted everything. But the means of making sure that what we all agreed upon gets realized is putting it all in writing, keeping it all together, so that when you present it to a court or you're trying to take action on it, it's very clear who did what when and how it's supposed to move forward.
Gotcha.
So isn't that, I mean, that could be kind of sticky when you have, because a lot of so-called married people that live together. They're married, on paper, but they sleep in separate rooms. She has her life, he has his life. They really can't afford to get a divorce because where they're gonna live, So
you can, just like they're doing that, they can be divorced and live in the same house.
Yeah.
So the divorce is a legal termination of basically I look at it because of what I do, legally terminating those rights to inherit. Let me just give you one other example. I've got a situation where this woman was getting divorced. She had children. She was sick, so she decided that she was going to just go ahead and deal with this marriage thing because they weren't really together anyway. Before the hearing, in which actually finalized the divorce, she dies.
Sound like a movie. Oh my goodness.
So everybody's telling me, he said he's going to cooperate.
We both go home.
But until I get something signed, I can't move forward. So I've had the documents filed for a couple of weeks now. I'm trying to call him on the phone. He's not answering.
Oh, no.
Don't know if it means something. Actually, I had him served with formal notice. And he actually just yesterday slid it under my door with none of the consent signed. And I'm trying to call him. It's like, did you not understand what I said?
He understood.
He may not have understood, but I wasn't in the office. So and that requires more time. I had to hire a process server to serve it on him. So that's the cost we're going to have to incur. All of this becomes more expensive.
If he would have signed it, he stand a chance to lose something?
Yeah, but she's got 4 children, so he would be giving up his interest in her house.
If he signed?
If he signs.
Oh, okay.
But, they were about to get divorced anyway, and that was the agreement. So I try not to attribute any ill motives to people until they show me that.
Until they show you, yeah.
Because, like we were saying on other fronts, people sorry with their own stuff sometimes. Okay, I ain't finished. I ain't returned that phone call. I was busy when she called. I forgot about it, thought about it 2:00 in the morning. Any number of things can be going on. But in the meantime, your business isn't getting handled because it relies on all these other things.
But what about this consent that has to be consented? What if the guy just want to be a jerk and say, I ain't consenting to nothing?
That's why 2 options. Testate and state. Testate. So from the Florida legislature standpoint, so this lends itself into the discussion about elections and stuff. If you can't get his or her consent, because this is happening on both sides. I've got an elective share issue with a deceased husband and an elective share issue with a deceased wife. So it no longer is about what gender you are.
Right.
The legislature has to make, this is how I learned civic, the legislature is making broad decisions.
Right.
So your specific circumstances cannot be considered. It's got to be broad, bright lines. You're married or you're not. If you are married, then these rules apply. If you are not, then these rules apply.
So basically having more baggage, in other words, lack of a better description, being married could be much more challenging, separating your assets at death.
Yes, because there is no equity concern.
Right.
I think that's one of the things the judge tried to do Thursday. Well, I remember from family we don't do that no more, because now it's death. It's finite. It's about transition. It's not about trying to make everybody whole and split up things. And what if marital income went towards supporting this house? That's not part of our analysis in probate.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a will. So that's the will that could go. That's some things that can go wrong with a will. Is this consent part?
And the reverse is true too. In that people should get married if they want to act as married and perform at, receive an inheritance as a wife or a spouse, and divorce if they're not. A couple of years ago, I had a case where the man had a wife in New York, and he had a live-in, I'll call it, in Seminole County, and he had 3 children. So it's interesting as I look back on that case now. So experience is a good teacher, because he owned the house, his homestead he owned with the live-in as a joint tenancy with rights of survivorship, which means at his death it transfers to her. The case I was in earlier this week, they're trying to say, oh no, that can't exist because it's gotta be his homestead. So let me make a note of that, because I'm gonna have to write that in my motion, because part of the challenge, even, and the other thing that can go wrong with a will as compared to a trust is you're relying upon a judge to understand a lot of elements of law at the same time.
Interpret it, yeah.
A stranger.
Yeah.
But more the law part, because when you're, again, with the elections thing, judges state judges, counties and circuit judges are elected at some point. Now, if a vacancy is created because somebody resigns, dies, or retires, the governor appoints, but that person still has to stand for election.
Right.
The tendency has been, over the last 9 years or so, the majority of the attorneys appointed to be judges are former prosecutors, which is the criminal law. So based on what you were saying earlier, imagine the implications of a person trying to, and part of what I think happened earlier in my hearing is, this was not a former prosecutor, but I think she comes from a criminal background. So I think the inclination is there's a good guy and a bad guy in every case. Let me figure out who the good guy is and let me rule in that way.
Wow.
But there's not a good guy and a bad guy. In probate, there are responsibilities, there are statutory obligations, there are things that flow from that.
Right.
The facts that are relevant aren't good or bad facts.
Right.
And nobody had to do any wrong. There's no wrongdoing necessary.
Yeah.
They're just facts.
They're just facts.
So joint tenancy with rights of survivorship. I create that relationship with somebody. That doesn't necessarily mean anything I was trying to hurt him with.
Right.
We could have had a conversation. We could have had an understanding.
Right.
That's not reflected in the document. And if you're not going to take the time to get to the complete set of facts, you may make an assumption based on your background.
Right.
As a judge.
Prior to being a judge, or as a judge, or even personal experience. But it's key to, if you don't understand the importance of the fact, it's easy to miss the issue. So a will is not really a will until a judge says it is. If it's uncontested, that goes along smoothly. I'd say 90% of the time, you don't have an issue. But when there's a fight, now you're relying upon someone who may or may not understand all these different moving pieces.
Yeah, the judge, ex-prosecutor judge. We got to take a station break. This is good. We got to take a station break. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. We're back. We're back live. Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, live in the beautiful studios of WZAB 880 The Biz. We're streaming live. We're on social media. Also, YouTube, Facebook, and also at our, you can go to our website later on and recapture this program, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. We also sitting here with my co-host, business partner, vice president of the Henderson Financial Group, Lynda V. Harris. She's a financial planner. And joining us today, talking about wills and trusts, is Marva L. Wiley, Esquire. She is a estate planning, wills. She specializes in wills and trusts, and she's very, very good. And we learn a lot of things. I didn't know, Marva, that a lot of the judges that preside over probate are past prosecutors. I mean, for the most part, I didn't know that.
And it's interesting because I think back let's say 10 years ago, I was supporting a candidate who had more of a civil background, and the person running against him was a former prosecutor. So the challenge is lay people, I imagine, are generally thinking that court and judges are what you see on TV. You're not thinking about probate, family law, real estate litigation, and all those kinds of things. So a prosecutor who can say, I've had 75 trials, I can see a layperson saying, yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah,
Right.
you know how to do a trial. You know what the trial is.
Right.
But if your trials have been solely on criminal law, you probably want to consider what the depth that person is bringing beyond that.
Gotcha.
Right. Got it.
Are they really going to be able to because of a friend of mine and I got another colleague who he's a judge, but he comes from a criminal background too, and I said, okay, I don't do criminal, but from my perspective, it looks like criminal's much more black and white. So when you just to bring this in, like they talk about the Supreme Court justices, John Roberts says that the role of a judge is to call the balls and strikes. Like, I'm not supposed to be really in this. I'm just calling the balls and strikes, like an umpire.
Right.
But sometimes the judge is the trier of fact. Usually when we think about a court case, there is a jury that's deciding what the facts are. These are the elements of a crime. Is
Right.
this true? Is that true?
Right.
Is that true?
Right.
Based on evidence.
Right.
Sometimes the judge is the trier of fact.
Right.
Gotcha.
You don't necessarily have a jury trial. And I can't tell you of a jury trial I've heard about in probate.
Okay.
Right. So the judge
So-
is the jury, basically.
The judge is the jury. The judge is the trier of fact. So you as the public don't get to control where a judge gets assigned or what that's more up to the individual. So if you're thinking law and order when you hire, when you elect a judge, and then you living with family law and it's a whole different thing,
Yeah.
those are things that you need to think about.
So isn't it best then what all you're saying comes all to down in a nutshell? If you can arrange to stay out of probate at court, is it better?
I'd say yes, but I think that oversimplifies things. And I'll say that because I had it's been a busy week. I had another set of calls this week where 3 siblings co-own property as joint tenants with rights to survivorship, which means, good plan, we staying out of probate. One of those people executes a will trying to give his interest in the property to his children,
Oh no.
which severs the joint tenancy with
Right.
rights to survivorship, by the way. But that's not the issue. So the other 2 siblings are like, well, why don't we just all give it all to our children? They call me up and say, okay, we want to do a deed that puts 8 people on the deed. I'm like,
That's chaos. That's pandemonium there.
Oh, my
exactly.
goodness.
So along the lines of what you were talking about earlier in terms of the effort to be fair, sometimes creates a bigger mess.
Right.
And then you've got to pay somebody, deal with an attorney on another side. So it may not be a probate issue, but now you've created another civil litigation issue, because I do real property litigation too, because it's so often related to something from probate.
This is the time. So tell me, what is the best way? Because, like I always say, 2 places I want to stay out of. That's the court system and hospitals. So if you want to stay at hospitals, I know I have to just try to be as healthy as I can.
Right.
Okay, so with court
Let me try to jumpstart this for you, because there is no one right answer. I think what's like the Sue Zorman thing. People used to tell me we went to Sue Zorman and this is her trust. There is, it's not binary like that. It's not this is right and that's wrong, or this is always better. The real important thing is to be clear on what your circumstances are and craft a plan that deals with those circumstances and what you want to happen. Because in some situations, I've got 1 child. I am unmarried with 1 child. So I did a joint tenancy with rights to survivorship relationship with my daughter, who's very responsible,
That's because she's very responsible.
because she's very responsible.
Right.
Man.
That wouldn't work for somebody like you with 5 kids and a wife, because that's a whole lot of confusion with anything you need to do on the property. So circumstances are very important. It's not something I can give you a quick answer on. I can just tell you the horror stories on if you short circuit the analysis and try to jump to the quick answer.
Give out a phone number again, because I can hear people saying, what if?
All right, Marva. Marva's telephone number is 786-536-4612. 786-536-4612. Marva L. Wiley. Give her a call. She can help you, because if you already have a will, she probably need to look at it. And if you have a trust and she ain't do it, I know she need to look at it. We'll be right back. We out. Hey, Lynda, take us out.
Give us a call at our office. Get your finances in order. Come on in. Let's sip tea. Or we can call and do a conference call. 305-825-1444. Give us a call. Have a great day.